Hey, this is Jung. I've got another movement of the day post here. Today's mod is about navigating the stairway. So this is geared a little bit more towards people who are going up and down the stairs on a regular basis, either because they have, stairs at home or at work, and maybe they already have knee pain. We're trying to save the knees here. This is less for the Stairmaster or a box step up for exercise scenario. So I do have a makeshift stairway set up here, and I'm going to tell you right off, honestly, you're not going to be stopping at every step, right, going down or up to think about, wait, is this the proper posture, is this the proper mechanics? So we will go over those, but really you're going to basically have a couple of principles or mindset shifts to hang those on. So hopefully, as long as you're focused on that principle or the mindset, then the mechanics and the posture will follow. So posture wise, the most important thing to remember is that our knees need to be pointing forward. So the worst thing you could do is have a knee that rotates inward as you put that weight on it. So you want to think about that knee being forward, and actually, if you can, a slight external pressure. So a slight angle outside, but just think about it being more forward, and that will take care of the worst case scenario with the knee. So posture-wise, going up with the trunk, is that it's natural for us to think that because we're driving forward, that we're going to lead with the head and the shoulders like this, and cause a slight little rounding inflection through your trunk. What we want to do instead is focus more on a slight hip hinge, a micro hip hinge, and so that our posture remains upright but slightly angled, okay? But that will come almost naturally because of the motion of going forward. So as long as you're not leading with the head, okay, then that should be enough to take care of that for now. So one of the things that happens, this is now the mindset shift. One of the things that naturally happens is that we're thinking we're going forward, we're going up, and so my forward leg is what's driving me up. And then when we come up, and especially with that forward head posture, we're putting all the weight on the knee and the quad. The mindset shift, or the principle here that we want to hang on to, is that it's actually the trailing leg, the back leg, that is the force driver for this step up. In order to get a feel for how to engage that correctly, is you want to have the heels pressing down and back, so almost like you're trying to move this ground behind you, and you'll feel that engage that glute. It's the glute that needs to do the work of going up the stairs. So even if you're in a situation where your entire feet don't fit on a step, which would be the ideal scenario, but even if your feet were, your heel was hanging off that edge, you still want to think of that same principle of driving that heel down and back to engage the glute to drive that step up. Okay, that's going to save a lot of the pressure on the knee. Now, coming back down, again, the knees facing forward versus the toes kicked out to the outside or to the inside. And the main principle we want to hang on to here is that we're elongating through the trunk, through the core. Because if you think about it, if you were to go in slow-mo, when that foot comes off and is in mid-air, that leading foot, even if you're not forcefully, flex through the foot, just that position means we have a little more weight hanging onto that heel, okay? And if you let yourself really feel that, that happens by elongating through your entire body. So you want to let that happen. Also employ a little micro hip hinge if you can, but again, that momentum of going down should help you take care of that, as long as you're not, overly forward or even leaning back. So once you understand that you're just thinking about lengthening through the core, Now the actual drop to the next step is going to be onto the ball of the foot and the midsection of the foot. So not slamming down, you know, either on the toe or the heel, but just kind of right on the ball, and think about just elongating, okay? So as long as you're not torquing the knee and putting pressure on the knee, everything is really to make sure that we're not putting undue pressure on the knee or twisting it, number one. But number two, while we're at it, you know, actually learning to engage the correct muscles, because that's just gonna, you know, transfer and translate into everything else we do anyway. All right, so this is Jen signing off, reminding you to start where you are, do what you can, use what you have, and move something.